Hey guys. Okay, I'm live. Okay, here we go. It's so frustrating, guys. I have no idea what's going on. And my husband's pretty technical, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, hey. Okay, I'm just gonna see if you guys can hear me. I'm on my phone now. So, I had to switch. I left my studio. I disconnected everything and came outside, and now I'm on my phone. So, I don't know if this is gonna go through, or not. I have no idea. I wrote my old producer, and he said, check your Chrome settings. There might be something in there. I did that, and there's nothing else I can do at this point. I have no idea. So, I mean, switching devices, switching audio, switching cameras. I don't know. But I don't think my IP address is the same. I could be wrong, guys, because I'm not a computer person at all. I don't think my IP address is the same on my phone. So he's calling me right now. Talk to you later, Dad. Tune in. Okay, sounds smooth now. Good. Well, see, this is what happens. Though it's like, hey, good to go. And then I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I start going, and everyone's like, we can't hear you. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Try broadband. Oh, okay. So this is what oh, so we have got some haters on here. Oh, hey, who's the hater? Who's the hater? Where are you, little hater? Fake news. Oh, non-stop fake news. Oh, I've never seen her face. Well, yeah, this is me. Hey, Raymond. Welcome. You'll probably be banned soon. What's up, guys? How's it going? I hear you. Okay, good. The bad guys have your house, but I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Lynn. Is it cold there? It does look cold, but it's not that cold. When you're in Colorado and it's in the shade, it's like 15 degrees cooler than when you're in the sun. In the sun in Colorado, because you're higher up, I'm over a mile up in elevation, and it gets hot fast. So, hey guys. Okay. Hey Pam, I feel so good to talk to you guys. I keep getting shut down. So it's cool to connect with you guys. No sound. See? There we go. Someone just said no sound. Really? No sound? Keep up the good work if you can hear me. Okay. Hey Indiana. Hey Sue. Hey guys. Hey Michael. Colorado. No, rock on. Texas deplorable. Hey Dee, thank you for your support. Hey Tamara. Okay, so I'm just going to talk. You can hear. Okay, cool. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes because what I want to address is the complete and total hypocrisy, and I started to address it on the last video about how if you were engaged in politics with Kavanaugh, it was horrible. It was absolutely disgusting how they treated this man. They tore his life apart, and they had people come forward that had no evidence. It was all just hearsay. It was like, yeah, Kavanaugh ran into me and he tried to assault me, but there was no proof. There was no corroborating evidence. Nothing to back that up. Nothing that said, yeah, this happened. In fact, with Blasey Ford, guys, there was no even documentation anywhere that they even knew each other, that they had even been in the same room. So here we go with Blasey Ford, who did this testimony, and suddenly you had the Me Too movement. Are like, oh my gosh, yes. And then they teamed up with the Believe All Women, and it was Believe All Women. It didn't matter. You just got to believe the woman. And I remember being adamantly opposed to this because, like I said earlier, I have a son, and we can't suddenly believe whatever a woman says just because she's a woman. You have to have evidence. You have to have something that says, yes, this did happen, something to corroborate it. You have to, or else everyone is guilty. A man could be accused of anything and suddenly he's guilty. And as a mom of a son, I'm like, oh my gosh, someday that could be my son. Someday that could be my son. Someday some woman could come forward and accuse him just because she didn't like him, or he didn't like her back, or make up some wild accusation and suddenly he's guilty. He's guilty without even being proven guilty. Like, proven, at this point, the whole believe woman thing was, you're guilty and you have to prove your innocence. And that's not America, guys. That is not what we are. That's not what we stand for. You are innocent until you are proven guilty. Oh, Robin saying she can't hear. Oh, no. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So Brian can hear. Okay. So we watched this whole thing unfold. They tore this man's life apart. It was horrific to watch because he was an upstanding man, and and the reason why they did this is because he was a man that was appointed by a Republican president, and they hated Trump, so they decided to just attack Kavanaugh without any evidence, any proof, and it was just an all-out. I mean, guys, it was, if you remember, it was just complete hysteria forever. And now, which is so just fascinating to me, we are watching a woman named Tara Reade. She came forward. She was an aide to Senator Biden in 1993. He asked her to deliver a briefcase to him in a corridor in the Capitol. And she said that it was there that he sexually assaulted her. I've read the details. It's really disgusting. And I'm not going to say them here in case you got your kids with you, but it was gross, and it's been a consistent story that she's told with total consistency. But the thing is, again, we have a woman accusing a man of assaulting her. Do we have any evidence? Do we have anything that can back up this woman's story? Okay, let me see here. So, what drops last week was a video from Larry King Live where Tara Reade's mother, okay, she calls in to Larry King Live and she talks about how her daughter was, I don't even know the exact words. She said that she was taken advantage of, or something happened, but she tried to go to people above her, but they wouldn't hear her out. And so she was wondering, is the only thing I can do is go to the press? And Larry King was listening to her. It was her mother. It's been verified that it was mother. It's been verified the location of her mother living at that time which was in California, and she called from the exact location of where the mother was living. So that's corroborating evidence. This backs up what Tara Reade was saying. Okay, but now you've got the Democrats that are like, no, like, we don't believe all women. Like, no, I mean, you can't just, like, and so suddenly they're completely being total and complete hypocritical. I mean, they're defending Joe Biden. And the other proof we have, guys, let's be honest. If you're honest with yourself, oh my gosh, I've got people that I know that just can't be real. Joe Biden is handsy. Right? He is like handsy man. Like and it's not handsy with men, right? He's handsy with women. There are pictures, numerous pictures. You can Google Joe Biden hands, Joe Biden with women, Joe Biden smelling women, and you'll have pictures and pictures and pictures of Joe Biden up in these women's business. Okay, that also kind of says, okay, this guy's a feeler. He's a toucher. Now, maybe it's acceptable touch. Maybe they like it. But a lot of these women being touched don't look like they're enjoying it. They don't look like, yeah, Joe Biden. They look like they're like, get me out of here now. Okay, so we've got tons of that. And then we've got Tara Reade's story, and then we have the corroborating evidence of Tara Reade's mother calling into CNN in 1993 as well, basically verifying Tara Reade's story. Okay, so the next time some Democrat comes at you like they believe, ask them about Joe Biden. And ask them what's the difference between Joe Biden and Kavanaugh, because with Kavanaugh, and I have this written down, okay, Kavanaugh then was seen before the court. Like, he had a televised interview. He was then intensely background checked by the FBI. So he's background checked by the FBI. We haven't background checked Biden in his numerous attempts with women and stories with women. And he doesn't want to release stories. He doesn't want to release any information from his time at the University of Delaware. So he's saying, no, he wants to keep those documents sealed too. So that's another thing. Oh gosh, people are saying you can't hear me. I don't even know. which is just so disrupting because I'm like, I don't know if I keep going or not going. So and then he did national interviews. He was with the FBI, also did background checks. Then the FBI followed up with Blasey Ford's story, and they realized that there was witness tampering by Blasey Ford's defenders. So all of this stuff, okay. But Joe Biden hasn't had anyone do a deep dive into his FBI background check on him and women, and he doesn't want to unseal documents at the University of Delaware. Like, he wants to keep this thing locked down, and he's got, like, and now we've got Hillary Clinton, who was all for, taking out Brett Kavanaugh, all these other Democrats, Harris, Whitmer, every Democrat was saying, we've got to take out Brett Kavanaugh, we have to believe all women, and now they're saying, oh, no. Like, we need due process. We can't immediately just believe Tara Reade. We have to, slow this thing down. And I believe Biden. So, it's just, ugh. Anyways, okay. So you can hear. Okay. So, also I wanted to address really quick, Flynn, because a lot of people, haven't gone deep into Flynn. So I want to really quick give you guys just a quick synopsis of Flynn, because you're going to start to hear more about this. I believe that the Durham report is going to drop in the next month and a half. And the reason why I think they're holding out on that is because of this whole coronavirus thing. Like, they don't want to release, they don't want to bring indictments or charges or anything like that until this corona thing calms down, because this, what I believe is going to happen, and I know people are like, oh, Rachel, you're just being so hopeful. But I really believe that the reason why it's taking so long with the Durham report is because they have, in order to take down big players, you have to have all your ducks in a row. You have to have absolutely everything lined up, solidified, validated, ready to go, that nothing can shake it. Like, if you're going to go after, let's say they try to take out Comey because of his involvement in this whole Russian investigation and the role he played, and we can go into that in a second, then they you can't, to take down a former FBI director is a huge deal. So they have to have all their ducks in a row. To take down Peter Strzok, to take down Lisa Page, to take down John Brennan or Clapper, we have to have everything lined up. And so I think that that's why it's taking a while. And I also think that they don't want the coronavirus whole quarantine epidemic thing pandemic that we're dealing with to overshadow what will take place here. In short, really quick with Flynn, the FBI, who I grew up loving, okay, and this isn't a slam to the men and women at the FBI, because I have great respect for them, but what has happened to the FBI is it's been infiltrated by top executives, top brass there, that have abused their power. They have completely abused their power, and they have taken advantage of the system, and they basically thought that they were untouchable. What they did is they went in and they intentionally entrapped General Flynn. Okay, they went in there, and now there's documentation saying, do we want Flynn to, there's FBI notes, do we want to get Flynn to tell the truth, or do we want to entrap him? Do we want to have him perjure himself? What do we want him to do? What is the goal here? And the goal was to take out Flynn. And the whole reason they wanted to take out General Flynn was to take out Trump, to cause the Russia story, the narrative, to have some kind of truth to it. They're like, oh my gosh, if we start having these indictments, if we take out Flynn, then the American people will think that there was Russian involvement with the Trump campaign, which there was not. That is a total and complete lie. There is no evidence. It's been proven to be a total and complete hoax. Okay? So but their goal was to take down Flynn. And so what's so sick here, guys, is they drew Flynn's son in, and they started to background check and try to find stuff on his son. And there was nothing on his son, but they came up with some story that they were going to, prosecute his son or bring charges against his son if Flynn did not confess to this crime. Okay? So Flynn confesses to a crime that he did not commit. And this is all the workings of the FBI. Basically, what the Durham report is now researching, in case you're just like, it's too much to follow, because it is a lot to follow. the Durham report is basically trying to find out the origins of the Russian investigation and how it started. Like, how did this thing start? Why was the Trump campaign spied on? Who gave the go-ahead to spy on the Trump campaign? Now there's proof that the FBI knew that the dossier that was presented to the FISA court, okay, so they had this document that was presented to the FISA court. It was completely fake. It was unverified. The FBI, now we know that the FBI knew that it was fake. They took it to the FISA court, and they got warrants to spy on the Trump campaign. So that's basically what this is all about. Who and all the players behind it. Okay, so all the players behind it. And let me back up really quick. So Stroke is one of the guys that was trying to take down Flynn. They realized that there was nothing there with Flynn. Okay, there's documentation now that there was nothing there with Flynn. They realized there was nothing there with Flynn. They were going to drop the whole thing. And Peter Strzok came in and said, no, we're not dropping it. We're going to take this guy down. So I believe that we're going to really be seeing some stuff with possibly with Peter Strzok, possibly with Lisa Page, who was his lover at the FBI, who also teamed up with him. I think I think we will see indictments. And I know that sounds hopeful. I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, we continue to see this. And this is the thing. And I think a lot of people have lost hope. But let's remember, when James Comey looked into Hillary's emails, because I think that's when people stopped just believing. They're like, oh my gosh, Hillary's allowed to delete 30,000 of our emails. She's allowed to smash Blackberries and iPhones with hammers. That was after this evidence was subpoenaed. She then did that, and she got away with it. And it was shocking. And everybody was kind of like, what? How can you not be guilty when you're destroying subpoenaed evidence? Like, how is that not? And it was at that point everybody was like, just forget it. Like, just forget it. Like, there's no justice. But we have to realize that happened under Obama, okay? Obama was president at the time. We have a different president right now. Our president is Donald J. Trump, okay? And I believe that we will see justice under this president. So that's something that I am hopeful for. Also, okay, to wrap up, because I don't want to take too long, I hope you guys can still hear me. I'll go back and read the comments. But this whole thing, we're finally starting to open up. Thank God. I wanted to just talk about this whole pandemic that we've witnessed and the trampling of our rights as American citizens. There's people that are upset with me. I've gotten mean messages. I've gotten hate mail. I've gotten you name it, trolls coming to my page telling me how much they hate me, rating, giving me like 0 stars. I've had a lot of adversity through this time, and it comes back to the reason why I believe what I believe is because I believe in our Constitution. And I believe that our rights don't disappear in the midst of a pandemic. I don't believe that suddenly our right to assemble disappears because there's a pandemic. I don't believe that our right to bear arms disappears because there's a pandemic. I don't believe that that our rights, our Fourth Amendment right to not be spied on by the government disappears under a pandemic. I don't believe that our 10th Amendment rights disappear under a pandemic. And so I believe our founders knew that if we as American citizens give up our rights, there's no hope for us. If we just lay down and say, oh, it's okay, the government's trying to protect us during this time, we're crazy. And so what we have to realize is that no matter what we're under, no matter what we face, we have to stand up for each other. We have to stand up for our right to assemble. We have to stand up for our churches. We have to stand up for our rights. And if we don't, they're gone. They're gone. My neighbor just waved at me. And so that's where we're at right now. We are at a place in our time where we have to stand strong. And there's people that are mad at me for that. There's people that are mad at me. And at the end of the day, listen, I don't want to be very clear because I know there's to be very clear, my sister is a nurse. Okay, my other sister is working with COVID-19 patients. My sister that's working with patients, she's also pregnant, so her immune system is lower. She has a bigger chance of being at risk. And I greatly respect doctors and nurses. I greatly respect the time and the energy and you putting yourself on the line like that. I don't want anyone to misunderstand that. This is not a knock on doctors or nurses. I am so thankful for you. God bless you. You are working hard. You are doing amazing things. You really are heroes in the midst of this time. And I don't want, and there's no buts with that. There's no buts. It's an indefinite, without a doubt, thank you for what you guys have done. And I want there to be a clear understanding that just because I'm fighting for freedom, and just because I stand up for the Constitution in the midst of a pandemic, does not mean that I disrespect nurses, does not mean that I disrespect doctors, does not mean that I disrespect the people that have lost loved ones to this virus. Okay, that needs to be very, very clear. But I realize right now that we are at a time in our country where our freedoms are being trampled upon. And the end goal, and a lot of this is because I am a Christian, and when you study the Bible, globalism eventually comes into place. Eventually globalism does happen. And I believe that we're in a time right now in our history where we can see it. Like, you can see globalism approaching. You can see socialism approaching. It's at our front door. And if we don't, and if you would have asked me a year ago, like, how does it happen? Well, this pandemic is a perfect picture of how it can happen. It's when you give up your rights because you're fearful. You give up your rights because you're afraid. You give up your rights because you're scared. And before you know it, your rights are gone. And you don't know how it happened. Well, this is how it happens. It doesn't happen like poof. It happens slowly. It happens over time. And this is why, as Americans, we have to check our government. We have to check those in authority and say no. Because if we just lay down and say, okay, that's fine, we'll stay inside until Christmas, it's okay. You can take our businesses, you can take our, our right to worship, you can just take it because we're scared. Then they're gone. There's never, you cannot allow that to happen. And that's what I believe in. That's what I'm fighting for. And that's what I believe that we should all be fighting for. If you're an American, our country was founded upon individual liberty. Our Constitution was framed to limit government. It was framed to limit the power of government. And right now is when you exercise your constitutional rights. You can do it respectfully. You don't have to belittle other people. You don't have to belittle anyone by exercising your constitutional rights. But it is something we must do. And I just want to make that very clear. And that's what I believe in. I believe in the right of the individual. Too many veterans, too many of our war heroes, too many, my grandfather, too many have bled, fought, and died for our freedom, for our constitutional rights. And I'm not going to just say, okay, they can go away in the midst of a pandemic. And people want me to say that. People want me to say it. Listen, if you're elderly or you have a compromised immune system, then please take extra precaution. But you still have the right. You still have the right to do what you want to do, because this is America. And it's going to be America as long as we stand up and continue to fight for what we believe in, to continue to fight for our constitutional rights. So that's what I wanted to say. Sorry to kind of go off on a tangent, but I am passionate about this, guys. I believe it. It's not just some